recording. We'll just start standing with our feet comfortably under our hips. I'm going to stand on my mat, I guess. Okay. Toes pointed forward. Find yourself grounding in here, lengthening the spine, feeling that lift, right? As you feel the spine lengthen and your feet grounding in. So we'll just do a few breaths like we like to do to center and kind of start to balance. So as we inhale, we're going to lift our arms, lift our heels, float up on the inhale and exhale back down. So getting some nice full breathing going here, lifting up onto the toes, inhale, and floating back down on the exhale. Good. This is our opportunity to get our breath a little deeper, a little fuller as we inhale and exhale, grounding and centering. Good. One more time, we're going to lift the arms, and then you're going to stay up. Go ahead and float your heels back down, clasp your thumbs together, and take a little back bend. So just looking up, lean back, and then lift up and release the arms back down by your side. We're going to roll one shoulder back, nice big circle, and the other. Take a nice big shoulder circle as we breathe. And then bring our elbow into it, making our circle a little bit bigger. Arm. Okay. And then taking that full arm, slowly back stroking. Taking a little rotation with that. So looking to the side as your arm goes back, adding a little twist. And then we'll come back to where we started and circle the shoulder the other way. So back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. And then bringing our elbow into it. And then our full arm. You can bend your elbow if you need to. Go as slow as you need to. Take a little rotation, looking to the side. Twist that. And then facing forward, you're going to continue the arms. We're going to lift our opposite knee, right? So as the right arm comes forward, you'll lift the left knee. The left arm comes forward, lift the right knee. I'll see if I can do this. Try to be more graceful than I am. Bring it up, but not gracefully. There we go. So opposite arm, leg, breathe. And then go ahead and leaving our feet down, arms by our side. We're just going to let our hips go nice and big, circle around whatever direction they want to go in. Kind of let our body go with it. And just, widen the feet if they want to widen apart. And then the other direction. Getting a little movement into our joints here. Good. And coming back, we'll bring ourselves to the end of our mat. We're using a mat. And we're going to roll down. So inhale, and as we exhale, letting our head drop, letting our arms and shoulders relax, rolling down and hanging. Okay, if you can't touch the ground, just let yourself hang, bend and straighten the knees. Let the head go. If you're able to release and relax your head. And then with our knees a little bent, we're going to let everything relax. We're going to stack our spine back up. So roll back up. Everything relaxed as we come up to the top. And then one more time, we're going to inhale, exhale, roll back down. And hang. And let's bend one knee and then the other knee. So we feel our hips kind of Resting here. One leg and the other. And back to both legs together. Walk your hands out. Spreading fingers wide, lifting our tailbone. We have a pike or a down dog. You might want to just walk your heels or press both heels down, moving the body around if that feels good to you. Whatever feels good to you here. So you can release your head and neck. And then we might bring our hands a little farther forward to a high plank or all the way into a plank, whatever feels good to your body, whatever amount of lowering down feels right for you. And just take a couple breaths. And then you can either lower yourself slowly down or just bring your knees down onto the mat, whatever challenging you'd like that to be, and come around sitting, and we'll come onto our back with our feet close to our hips, in line with our hips. And let's see if I can center myself here. Great. We're going to just start by doing a little bit of a pelvic rock. So as we inhale, just letting your nice full breath arch your back as it naturally tilts your tailbone down a little bit, right? And then as you exhale, feeling the low back going into the mat, feeling the tailbone lift and the hips like they start to lift off the mat a bit. And then we inhale back into that little bit of an arch and exhale into that little curl, right? And just feeling our sacrum moving nice and freely, letting our shoulders relax. A little stretch in our low back. We all need that. And the next time we exhale, we're going to go ahead and peel our spine off the mat, one bone at a time, into a bridge, letting the shoulders relax here as we press our hips up. And then letting the spine melt down one bone at a time. And the hips come back down as we inhale and exhale, peel off the mat again. And this time we'll take our arms up and over our head. So we're going to lie the arms on the floor here. Just let your shoulders and arms relax. And the next exhale, we're going to melt our spine down one bone at a time. Really getting some movement in our spine, and then clasp the hands behind the head. So elbows are wide. We're supporting our head as we inhale, and then pressing head and shoulders off the mat as we exhale. And you're just going to inhale back down, and we're going to exhale up again. So this time we're going to stay up. So go ahead and press head and shoulders up and just support your head here as we inhale, letting our tailbone be on the mat. And then as we exhale, we curl it up. So we'll do that little pelvic rock in this position, right? So inhale the tailbone down to the mat. Exhale, curl, feel your hips lift a little bit. They're just stretching the low back even more, right? As we exhale, curl the tailbone up. Inhale, lay it back down. Okay. Just supporting the head, however high off the mat it wants to be. It doesn't really matter. Good. And then as we let our tailbone go back down, we're going to lie the head and shoulders down. Take an inhale, let your back arch. Exhale, peel your spine off the mat in this position. Hands behind the head. Good. inhale. As you exhale, melt the spine back down. And just as the hips start to come down, you're going to float your head and shoulders up. So we'll just do this a few times. Imagine that you're a wave, your spine is a wave. So you lie the head and shoulders down, and then just as you come down, you peel your spine off the mat. And then you're going to let your spine articulate. See how much movement we can get in our spine. And then as our hips start to come down, our head and shoulders come up, like a little seesaw movement. And again, we lie down, and then the hips peel up, and we go into our bridge. And then as we articulate the spine back down, just focusing on how much movement our head floats up. Good. And then lie back down. One more time, bridge up on this last time. And then let your spine melt back down, stretching it back down. And then when you come down, lift one knee, other knee up into our bent knee position. You can let your feet relax. Now we're going to exhale to press our head and shoulders up here, and try to bring your knees towards your head as you exhale, right? So again, we're curling the tailbone upward, getting that lower back stretch, that low lumbar stretch, and also working our low belly, right? Again, supporting the head. Just exhale those knees closer to your head as much as you can, right? Without using your legs so much, using the low belly. Good. Good. And then relax your head and shoulders down. Bring your feet back down to the mat. Keeping our hands behind our head. We're just going to let our knees sway over to one side and relax. And then lift them up and sway them over to the other side. If you want your legs to be together, great. If you want them apart, it doesn't matter. Whatever feels good to you. Just want to let your low back get a little movement here. So legs side to side. Yeah, relax. And then when we lift our legs back to the top, we're going to bring one knee up, other knee up again. And then just let your arms go out from your shoulders. So we have our legs together here. And we're going to open our left knee out to the side. And then bring your right leg over to your left, keeping your right shoulder on the ground, and then lifting that right leg back up, and the left leg follows. So we're going to fan our legs. So you're going to take your right leg out to the right, following with that left leg, keeping your shoulder on the ground, and then lift back up one leg at a time. So side to side, one leg, and then the other, and then lift. And the other leg lifts, keeping our shoulders down, and maybe we get a little more movement as we go side to side. One leg following the other. Some people will be able to go farther than others. It doesn't matter, just whatever is available to you. Side to side. And then when you come to the top, if you feel like you want to straighten your legs and do it, you can take your legs more straight or all the way straight and fan them one at a time. Lifting, and then one leg, other leg follows, however far it goes. Lifting up, lifting up. Yeah. Oh, feel free to groan and moan, letting your knees bend as much as they need to. We're working our obliques, working a lot of muscles here. So just kind of going with that nice twisting motion, a weighted twist. Right? And then when you come back to the top, after you've even on both sides, right? Whenever that is, go ahead and bend your knees and bring your feet on the ground. We're going to stretch our legs out, clasp our hands behind our head again. Legs are straight, right? Inhale, and then as you exhale, pressing your head and shoulders up off the mat, again, however high they want to go, supporting. And we're going to feel like we're lengthening that right leg as much as we can. We're going to float it up. As we exhale, inhale, lower it back down. Doesn't have to go very high. We're about lengthening that left leg, right? Lengthen and then float it up. Inhale back down. So really focusing on the length, lengthening the right leg. Exhale, float it up and lower back down. Nice full breath. Exhale, lengthen that left leg. And float it back down. Let your head and shoulders relax. Back down on the mat. And next time we exhale, we'll press our head and shoulders up again. And then you're going to imagine you're lengthening both legs and imagine that you're lifting them both off the mat. And then relax. And then again, lengthen both legs. And then you might be able to lift them, or you might just kind of try to lift them. But if you're able to float your legs off, great. Otherwise, just try, and that's enough, right? And then lie back down. Good. And then go ahead and release your head. Reach your arms over your head, flexing the feet. We're just going to do a little side-to-side stretch. So you're going to reach through one arm and leg, and then reach to the other arm and leg. Just kind of stretch the body, lengthen our sides, right? Feel the shoulders and the hips moving up and down. Okay. And then relax everything, and we'll widen our legs a bit, widen our arms a bit, so we're a big X. Flex the feet and take one hand over to the other arm and stretch toward that hand, reaching as far as you can, and stretch across the body, that diagonal spiral, and then coming onto our back, taking it to the other side, and reach. And then coming onto your back, you're going to bring your feet on the mat again. Just bend the knees, sweep the arms down, and reach. Grab your legs if you need to. If you don't need to, roll up to sitting. And then just stretch the legs out in front, lift the sits bones. We're going to bring our pelvis forward and then relax over the legs. A little stretch here over our legs. If you can reach your toes, great. And then go ahead and come up and create a diamond or a long-legged butterfly. So the feet are together in that half bend in the knees. And just stretch forward here over your legs. You can have your hands on the mat and just kind of stretching that sacrum and stretching our spine here. Good. And then see if we can flatten our back, kind of lift the torso here, flat back, stretch forward. And then relax down. Good. And then go ahead and stack your spine back up and turn toward one leg, doesn't matter which one, and root those sits bones and just stretch over that leg, right? So kind of walk your hands out. Feel a little stretch on our side of our hip. And here we're going to flatten our back, kind of lift up the torso and just see how we can lengthen our spine a little bit and then relax and stack the spine up and over to the other side, stretching over that leg. Your head to your knee, right? And then flattening the back, lifting up. Keeping our sits bones down. And relaxing forward over the leg. And stack the spine all the way up. Great. Then we're going to lift our knees and keep them in a bend. Hands behind the thighs. Inhaling as we exhale, curling our tailbone under and rounding back until our arms are straight or maybe halfway, right? And then inhale, exhale, pull yourself up and lift. Up. Inhale, exhale, curl under and round back, shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to release our legs and reach as we exhale. Reach for our feet and roll back up. If you want to keep holding on to your legs, you can, right? Inhale, exhale, round back, shoulders relaxed. Maybe go a little farther. Inhaling and exhaling, pull yourself up. And I like to let my knees kind of bend and straighten as I roll up and down. So do whatever feels right for you. See if you can go a little farther. So straightening the legs as you go down. Good. Inhale, exhale, letting the knees bend as you roll back up maybe. Good. And then slowly down. Great. Maybe to your shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale, roll up, reach, roll up. Let's do one more. So just go ahead and go at your own pace. And again, you can always hold on to your legs. You can always go all the way down if it's easy for you or not, right? Inhale, exhale up, but focusing on the control, right? So we're not jerking ourselves when we roll up and down. Okay, when you come up on this one, go ahead and stay there. And we're going to take hold of our right leg. So if you want a strap or a band for this, you can use one. And you're just going to come onto your back. And we'll just give our leg a little stretch here. You can bend and straighten. You can curl up, whatever feels good to you. You can move your foot, right? Point and flex. Circle the ankle. Right, and then we'll, with our head on the mat, we'll bring our arms out from our sides. Now, if you're using a strap, if you prefer to use a band or a strap because you have a hard time straightening your legs, you're welcome to do that. Or you can keep your leg a little bent. And we're going to take our leg across the body, right? Keep that right hip rolls off the ground. Exhale it back to the top. And then open it out to the right, keeping your sits bones pointing straight up, and exhale back to the top. So just side to side, taking that, reaching your leg towards your left arm, right? Left hand, and exhale back up. And then opening the leg out to the right. See how far you can go without rolling off your left hip. And exhale back up. Good. And then we'll take some circles. So you're going to take that leg across and around and back. Up. So again, with your band if you want, anchoring and reaching through our left leg. Circling that leg around. maybe 4 circles that direction or so, and then reverse your circles. Using your tail to lift the leg. And again, you can bend your knee as much as you need to, or use a band. Good. And then when you reach the top or you're even on both sides, you're going to grab hold of your thigh, bend your knee. If you have a strap, you can just hang on to it if you want. And we're going to use our hands behind our leg to rock ourselves up. Just go ahead and rock up. And then when you come to the top, lift that leg. And then take your left hand to the outside of your right foot and bring your right hand behind you. And again, your knee might be bent. That's okay. Right? And we're going to kind of take that leg a little bit across and turn and twist to the back. So looking over your right shoulder. And coming back around to face forward. You're going to cross your right leg over your left, bending your left foot, bringing that foot in. So we're in a figure 4 here. So you can take a strap or band off if you've got it. Hands behind your hips. Inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to press our hips up. Good. Inhale, and exhale, lower down. And when your hips come down, go ahead and just sort of round in toward your leg a little bit. Feel a stretch. Again, inhale. Exhale, press the hips up. Inhale, exhale, lower the hips down and just sort of bring your head towards your right leg. One more time, inhale, exhale, lift up. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Round in, and then we're going to roll onto our back in this position. Let's see if you can just sort of gracefully come onto your back and arms by our side. Inhale, exhale, press your hips up and see how level we can make our hips, right? And then articulate the spine back down. Good. And again, inhale, exhale, bridge up. At the top of your bridge, bring your arms over your head, lay them on the floor. Good. And then we're going to exhale, articulate the spine back down. And go ahead and clasp your hands behind your head. So we're still in our figure 4. Inhale, exhale, press head and shoulders up and float that left leg up. Bring your legs towards your head. And then bring your foot back down, head and shoulders back down. Inhale, exhale, head and shoulders press up, left leg floats up. Kind of curl up a little bit. And then lowering that foot back down, laying back down. Good. And one more time. Inhale, exhale, press up, float the legs up. And you're just going to stay here and do a little pulsing of your legs toward your head, right? So little pulse, bringing the legs toward the head, holding, supporting our head. And then go ahead and relax down, let your foot come back onto the mat. Keeping our leg here for a little longer. Inhale, exhale, press up. And now you're going to turn and point your left shoulder to your right knee, right? So we're twisting our elbow toward that knee. And then come back down to center. Inhale, exhale, press up and rotate the other way. So the right elbow points toward the left knee. And back to center and lie back down. Good. Continue. Exhale up and rotate to the right. And center. Lie back down. One more time. Exhale up. Rotate. Turn to the left. And back to center and lie down. I lied. We're not actually done. Inhale. Exhale. Press up and rotate to the right. And this time you're going to stay here. Let your left leg float up off the ground. And now you're going to pulse again. So bring your legs toward your head. Little tiny pulses in rotation. Right? And breathe. Good. Go ahead and stop. Come center. Let your foot float down. Let your head and shoulders relax. Go. Let's go ahead and cross our legs all the way so your right knee is stacked on top of your left knee. Release your head and from your hands from your head. Sway your legs over to the left and just let your legs relax for a moment. Feel a little stretch through your right hip and your right side. And then let the legs float up and sway the other direction. Okay. Just kind of relax in there. A little stretch through that left hip. Good. And lift up. And then we'll take hold of our right leg. Curl up. And just let your leg help you rock up. And then we're going to take our left leg and do the same thing. So we're going to roll onto our back and stretch this leg. Now again, grab your strap or your band if you want. You're just going to give this leg a stretch. Curl up if you want. Really lengthening the right leg. Right. Move your foot. Whatever feels good to you. For me, one leg is a lot tighter than the other. You guys probably don't have that problem. But yeah, give it a stretch however it feels good. All right, and then we're going to come onto our back again. Use the strap or band if you want. Otherwise, arms out from your shoulders. And we're going to take that leg over to the right, kind of rolling off our left hip. And exhale it back. Think of leading with your hip too, right? So then we open our left leg out to the side, keeping our right hip down. And exhale that leg back. And then again, over to the right, rolling off of your left hip. And then rolling your left hip back down to the mat lifts your leg up, right? And then open our leg out to the left. And lift it up. We'll take it into some circles. Right, so the leg crosses, sweeping it down, around, and lift. Bend the knee if it needs to. Good. Some nice big circles and breathing. Maybe you do 4 circles. And then we reverse our direction. Relaxing our shoulders. Try to really anchor that right leg. And then when we finish our circles, we can just maybe stretch our knee in if we need a little break. And then we can rock ourselves up by using our leg. Rubber band if you want. When we come to the top, we're going to stretch that leg up. Give your leg a good pull towards you. Take your right hand to the outside of that foot. Take it across the body a little bit. Left hand behind us, and we'll just kind of feel that real good stretch through that side of our leg, the IT band and the lateral hip. Right. Again, knee can be bent. That's okay, as much as you need to. And then coming back around to face forward, we're going to cross that leg over, bend your right leg to cross to that figure four. And hands go behind us. Inhale. Exhale, press the hips up. Inhale, exhale, lower down. And when the hips come down, just take a little curl in toward that leg. And then again, inhaling, exhale, press the hips up. Inhale, exhale, lower down and curl. You might want to have your foot flexed if you have, especially if you have knee issues, flex your foot. Inhale, exhale, up. Last time, we're going to lower back down and a little curl in. And we'll come onto our back. So go ahead and come onto your back. Mine wasn't so smooth and graceful by that time. And then hands on the mat. That's because of my right foot. Okay, inhale, exhale, press the hips up. And feeling our hip bones facing toward the ceiling, right? As much as we can. Good. And articulate the spine back down. One more time. Exhale, press up. You can articulate your spine up or not, just press up. And then arms go over our head. Relax on the floor. Good. And then articulate back down on your exhale. Good. Relax the hips, bend your elbows, clasping hands. Good. Take an inhale here. As we exhale, we press our hips, our head and shoulders up. Float your right leg up. Kind of making a little bit of a curl in like a ball. And then lower the foot down as you lie back down. As you inhale, nice and full breath. Exhale, floating the leg up as you curl up. And then foot floats back down, lay the head and shoulders down. One more time. Exhale, press up and float that leg up. We're going to stay here and just do a few little pulses of our legs towards our head. Just a little lifting of the tailbone off the mat, right? Try not to tense the neck. Good. And then go ahead and let your leg float down, your head and shoulders relax back on the mat. We'll do some rotation. So inhale, exhale, press up and rotate to look toward the left. So our right shoulder points towards our left knee, back to center and lie back down. Nice full breath. Exhale, press up, rotate the other way toward the right. Back to center and lay back down. Two more. I don't know if I hope I'm counting the same on this side. Okay, rotate to the left. Sometimes I might do it uneven. Inhale, back down. Exhale, press up, rotate to the right. And back to center and lower down. And then we're going to come up one more time. So we're going to exhale up and over to the left. So at this point, we lift our legs up and we pulse towards our head again in rotation, right? So little rotation, just supporting our head, lifting our tailbone a little bit. Not too much to ask, right? It's relaxing the neck. That's the hardest part, right? Okay. All right. And then coming back to center, lower everything back onto the mat. Oh, go ahead and let that left leg cross all the way over your right. Extend the arms out from the shoulders and sway your legs to the right and relax. So we just let that hip stretch happen there. Side body. Take a break. And then lift up and sway over to the left and relax your legs. That's a nice stretch for the front of our left hip too. Okay, lift the legs up and go ahead and grab hold of behind your left leg. Curl your head and shoulders up and rock yourself up to sitting. Easier said than done. Okay, see if we can straddle the legs. I know that isn't easy for some people, in which case you can do a diamond or something, but lift the sits bones, straddling the legs a little bit, and kind of wide, maybe whatever feels comfortable to you. And just let your hands slide forward between your legs. And then pressing your hands into the ground, and maybe they slide back a little bit. Flatten your back here, and your knees might bend. That's okay. Let's see if we can really lengthen through the spine, flat back. Let the knees bend as much as they need to. And then relax forward again. And go ahead and stack the spine all the way up. All right, so we're going to come on to our side, and I think it'll make it easier if you come onto the same side I am, in case that I need to correct. So let's go onto our left side first. And we're going to be with our knees bent, little bend there, and just rest your head on your elbow, on your hand, I mean on your elbow. Yeah. This hand can be wherever you want it to be. And we're going to kind of just square up the hips, you know, the knees are on top of each other, the hips are stacked. And you're going to start by lifting that top leg up and lower it back down. So yeah, inhale and exhale, kind of getting the hip open a little bit. Inhale and exhale. This time we're going to stay up, lift that knee, and you're going to rotate internally to point your knee down, touch down, and lift, open the knee, and touch your feet together. So the foot to the other foot, the left foot. So I can say right and left, right. Open the knee, touch the right foot to the left, lift, turn that right knee into the left. Usually I don't direct the sides. So you're going to just kind of tap as you internally rotate and externally rotate that hip joint, right? Hip socket opens and closes. Good. And the next time you open the knee up, just let it relax for a moment. Take a little rest, and then we're going to lift it up a bit. We're going to swing it up and back. So the knee's bent, and you're just going to kind of let your legs swing forward and back without moving the torso, right? Just let it swing. Yeah. And we're going to go into a circle. So you're going to swing it back, lift it up and around to the front. Swing it back, lift it up and around. Yeah, just circle that leg in the hip socket. And then we'll reverse our circles. Lift it back and then bring it forward. Strengthening the hip muscles, right? All the hip rotators and all that business. All right, and then next time we take our leg back, we're going to go ahead and just let it stay there and lower it onto the ground, up onto your elbow. Bringing our right arm up, we're going to open, taking the arm behind us, open to the ceiling, and then lifting. We're going to thread that arm through. So reaching your right arm underneath your left. Right, take a little shoulder stretch here. Good. And then coming back around to face forward, go ahead and lie back down on your arm and straighten your top leg. It's going to be kind of the same idea. You're going to kick forward and reach back, right? Leg kicks. So inhale, kick, kick. You might kick once, you might kick twice, stretch back, whatever feels good to you. We just want to hold our torso still and really move the leg as big as we can. And the same thing we did last time, next time you bring your leg back, you're going to circle it back and around. So it's going to go back and lift up, bring it forward. So however big our circles can be here, right? Yeah. And then next time we go back, we'll reverse our circles forward, up and back. All right, last time, and then last circle. And then when your leg goes behind you, you can let it bend and relax. Press yourself up into, if you're able to do mermaid, come into mermaid, right? Or you can do a variation by extending your leg out if you need to. Take a side stretch here. And then we'll cross that right leg over the left. And if you need the left leg to be straight, you can do that. And just root the sits bones, take hold of your right thigh or knee and do a little twist. So just looking behind us. Take a breath. And come back to face forward. And then if you're able to have your legs stacked, you might lean forward and do a little hip stretch, or you could also do a figure 4 stretch sitting or something else if this doesn't work for you. Just take a moment to stretch that hip a little bit. Right? Our only moment to stretch our hip. All right, and then we'll come around to our other side. So we'll be on our right side. I'm going to scooch my mat a little bit forward. And again, you can have your knees just stacked in a little bend and your head on your hand. Might stack the hips, knees, and then lift that leg up and lower down. Breathe. This is my tired leg. And then we'll hold it up and we're going to rotate that knee down to tap down and then open it to touch the toes. So tap knees together and then open. Internal rotation, external rotation. See how much movement we can get, right? On that internal rotation, how much opening we can get there in our hip joint. Mine isn't so good on this side for the internal, right? So it might be different. And then go ahead and let your leg relax for a moment. And then we're going to just lift it up and swing it up and back. If you want, you can also lie down on your arm. You don't have to stay up on your hand if you'd rather at this point. Yeah. Swing that leg. And then we'll go take it into a circle. So we swing it back and lift it up and around. So circle. Yeah, so feel free to lie on your arm. I should have mentioned that the last time and I forgot. So just nice big circle. And then reverse circle. The next time the leg goes back, you can go ahead and lay it down. Come up onto the elbow. This left leg is a little behind the right leg. And then lifting, looking up to the ceiling, bring your left arm back, open. And then we'll thread that arm through. So just stretching our shoulder, right, taking a couple of breaths here. And then back around, go ahead and lie down and straighten that top leg. We're going to kick and stretch back. So you might do a double kick if you want and reach that leg back. Breathe. And then we'll take it into a circle. So we reach it back and lift and around. Right. Yeah. Nice big circle. And then we reverse that circle. And we're breathing. We hope, breathing deep. And the next time your leg goes back, go ahead and let it bend and relax. Press up into mermaid. So, or whatever variation you can do there, and take a side stretch. All right, and then we'll do a little hip stretch. Well, first let's do a twist. So even if you don't want to do this particular stretch, we want to grab hold of that left leg and hug it in, lift our spine, and twist back over our left shoulder. Can't get too many twists, right? And then coming back around, you can either have your legs stacked and fold forward, or you can do a figure four or a different kind of stretch for your hip here on this side. Yeah, whatever feels good, it works for you. This works for me. Give that hip a nice stretch. Oh, a little moment to breathe. You can also move your head and neck around, your shoulders while you're doing that, right? Whatever feels good to kind of loosen everything up. Right, and then we'll come out of that and onto our all fours. So if you need any padding under your knees or anything, or your hands, just go ahead and do that. Spread the fingers wide. We'll just move our spine a little bit. So as we exhale, we're going to curl our tailbone under, press the hips back, lift up, and come into an arch. And then again, rounding and press back, and lift up, and come into an arch. And let's tuck our toes into the mat. So we're going to round and press the hips back and lift up. And when we come up, we're going to float our knees off the mat. If you want, press your hips up into a pike. You don't have to. And then let your knees float back down and come into an arch. And then again, rounding the spine, reaching your hips back towards your heels, and then lifting up, float the knees, pike the hips, and bringing ourselves back. Knees come to the mat, and arch. Good. Let's do one more of those. So rounding and pressing back, lifting up, float the knees, pike the hips, and slowly back onto the mat, arch, look forward, and then bringing ourselves to neutral. We're going to just go ahead and bring our right foot up into a lunge. And here's where I mentioned if you wanted to have a block, handy, you might want to do that. Just kind of rock in and out a little bit. Just going to do a little lunge here to kind of stretch our hip flexors. Make sure your legs are lined up with your hips and not with each other. Find your lunge. Stretch. And then with our left hand either on the mat or a block, right? That's also nice for a little support. You're going to take your right arm up and take a twist to the right. So left hand can be on the mat or on the block. And then coming back around to face forward again. And we'll lean back, straighten that right leg. And bring it back under us. Bring the left foot between the hands, lining up legs with hips. You can maybe rock in and out a little bit to find your lunge. Your legs are not lined up with each other. And then find your lunge and just feel the hip flexor stretch. And if you want your hand on the mat or a block, we're going to take our left arm and reach it up as we turn to the left. Good. And back around to face forward. Go ahead and just straighten back that leg, lean back and let your body relax on top of your thigh. Good. And bring that leg back underneath. We're going to come onto our belly and bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. So Sphinx position on the belly. Yeah, and you might just kind of rock around a little bit. That feels good to you. And then with our palms face down, maybe out farther a little bit if you need to, you're going to slowly straighten your arms and just kind of adjust your hands accordingly. Right? And just feel that stretch in our torso. So, yeah. Let's look up and just kind of increase the stretch a little bit. And then we'll look down and look at our belly, towards our belly. Good. And then go ahead and bring your elbows onto the mat, arms out from our shoulders. So straight out from our shoulders, looking down. You're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to lift our head and chest up with our arms staying on the ground, right? And just kind of like a swim. We usually do this with our arms up, but we're going to just float our right arm and left leg and then lower back down and then float your left arm and right leg and lower back down. So stay lifted if you can, and just opposite arm and leg, right? Float up and down. However lifted off the mat, you can keep your head and chest up. And then go ahead and relax for a moment. Again, lifting our head and chest up again, float both arms. So we're going to do a little propeller thing. So you're going to take your right arm up and your left arm down, and you're going to follow that left arm. And then you're going to switch. And you're going to take your left arm up, right arm reaches down, and just follow that arm. So just side to side, kind of propeller the arms, right? And follow that arm back. Just floating off the mat a little bit is all you need to do, right? It doesn't have to be very high at all. But we want to be a little lifted off the mat so that we're really working our back muscles, strengthening our spine. Good. And then bring both arms under, bend the elbows, bring them in like a swan or cobra. Elbows reach toward our waist, float off the mat here. And just kind of draw the shoulders down and then relax down. And then we're going to lift our head and chest and press into the mat into a full swan, whatever your version is, whatever feels good to you. Your pelvis can be on the mat or not. Okay. And lower back down. And then we're going to come up to our knees so we can stretch. So you might do that again if you like, to just go ahead and press all the way into your swan and then come up and sit back to the heels. So we're stretching in our child's pose kind of stretch here. I need a pillow under my feet. Stretch our back out a little bit. You might like your knees to be open apart. You might like one together, whatever feels good to you. Just notice how you feel. Come up whenever you're ready. And you can stay there if you want a little longer. And thank you all for coming. I'm going to hit the record button here.